Well, hi again. Welcome to Travels in Pictland. It's been pretty wild and windy here in Scotland. Winter's finally arrived, but we had an amazing summer. And at the end of August, I was lucky enough to go up in the hills in the county of Angus and climb a place known as the White Caterthun. Now, there's two Caterthuns, a brown one and a white one, but I'm going to focus on the white one at the moment. The White Caterthun dates back to around about 700 BC and was still in use approximately about 400 AD. These dates are pretty flexible. There's never been a big archaeological dig done up there, so we've got very little evidence of the place and there's no history. Anyway, Caterthun in Pictish means Hill of the Cats. The Hillforts in Scotland are categorised as hill forts, but you know what? I don't think an awful lot of them really were forts. A lot of them aren't really fortified. They might look it, but they're really not that defensive. Some had settlement, some didn't. There's all sorts of stuff that we don't know about hill forts. But in the past few years, the University of Aberdeen has been doing amazing work in Aberdeenshire at a place called Bothy, a huge hill fort where they found basically a Pictish town, which has never been found before. And they found that the fort was in use up to maybe the 8th century, something like that, AD. And they've also done similar work down in East Lomond Hill in Fife and found similar results. The place was used long after the Romans had been and gone. So stick with me. There's some amazing footage of this place that I took with a drone, which blew me away when I came back and watched it at home. So anyway, stick with me till the end. I'll show you directions and I'll see you later. I'm on the busy A90 between Aberdeen and Dundee, and I'm on my way to look at an amazing hill fort. And it's really busy. So I'm going to go up the road near the town of Brechin and then head up into the hills. So we'll watch out for the road signs and catch you in a bit. We're leaving the A90 behind and we're on the Caterthun or Caterthun road. This is the one to take. If you don't take this, you'll get hopelessly lost. I'll tell you about that later. Okay, so we'll follow the signs. There's actually not been a sign yet for the hill fort. More road signs for you. It's quite a hard place to find. There's also been a couple of diversions, but we're still on track. As yet, still no signpost for the White Caterthun or the Brown Caterthun hill forts. But the countryside's gorgeous. It's a pretty weird day. The sun's trying to break through. There's low clouds, so I don't know what it's going to be like up on the hill. So this is the parking place at the White and Brown Caterthuns, and that's the White Caterthun over there. And if I swing round, we'll hopefully catch the Brown Caterthun too. And that's the Brown Caterthun up there. It's very peaceful up here. Sammy! Sammy, come and get a biscuit! Come in. Here's Sam causing chaos as usual. The weather's beginning to close in up here. Just had a really good chat with a couple of guys who've been up there. One's in the Pictish Art Society. There's a few folk kicking about today. Anyway, catch you in a bit. So this is the path up to the fort. Oh, it's a heck of a climb up from the car park. Boy, oh boy. Here we are in the body of the fort, the White Caterthun. Gosh, we're on the roof of Angus, the county of Angus. What an amazing place. Oh boy, coming up the hill. Well, here I am. This is the White Caterthun, a massive hill fort. I've never seen so much stone lying around on the top of a hill. The manpower, if you don't mind the expression, used to build this place must have been immense. It's an amazing place. Now, I'd love to tell you lots of stories about how the White Caterthun was a major citadel long before the Picts came to the fore. The tribes who became the Picts built these forts. And I'd love to be able to tell you stories of their heroes and how the forts withstood sieges and stuff. But you know what? Actually, virtually nothing is known about the White Caterthun. I've got very little real history to tell you. So we'll go have a look around. It's fantastic up here. The clouds are closing in a little bit and the weather's closing in, but we'll move on. Oh, it's really beautiful up here. No wonder they put a fort up here. It's a commanding place. You can't see it right now, but you can actually see for miles and miles from up here. This is what's left of the Hillfort's well. And you can see it's now quite a large, big hole in the place. And there's the walls right behind. We're at the north end of the fort. Just look at this place. It's incredible. It's made out of quartz rock, which would have gleamed in the sunlight, visible for miles and miles around. Walls 12 metres thick, 4 metres high. They reckon it took decades to build. That could mean up to 100 years. Whole generations of people building this, with a life expectancy in the early years of possibly 35, 40. This was built by young people. You'd be really old and probably quite infirm if you hit 40. You'd probably certainly be a grandparent by your 30s, mid-30s. So this place was built by families over a huge amount of time. So imagine the infrastructure, the planning, the amount of people involved. It must have required an abundance to be able to spend time doing this, and prosperity. Hugely important, a common goal. It's quite amazing. What on earth was it? Well, I suppose there's a huge variety of uses that have been suggested over the years. A refuge, a settlement, a power centre, a statement, a social hub, an elite homestead, ceremonial, religious, ritual site, a place where they smelted iron and did commerce. Wow, who knows? Who knows? But it certainly was built and maintained by wealth, power, abundance, and influence. I read once somewhere that it was thought that the population of Scotland in the kind of Iron Age, when this place was built, the population was about 500,000 for the whole country. Oh, if there's all these forts, they must have been an awfully busy people. Anyway, it's a bit of a stumble down here. And that's where I'm going, down the path. As you can see, towards the end of that video, the car park was quite full. That was for people who were going stargazing. It was near the end of August, and I think there were some meteor showers. So there was loads of people up there. Anyway, what did you think of the White Caterthun, and what on earth do you think it might have been used for? Please let me know in the comments. Also, bear in mind that the Romans in AD 80 had a string of forts, one of which was quite nearby, about only 10 kilometres from the White Caterthun, around about the same time, and it hasn't appeared in any Roman records of any kind, so we can presume it wasn't a threat. Otherwise, Tacitus would have written it up as a big, big story about his father-in-law. Anyway, this replaces the traditional epilogue on my videos, and I'm going to replace it with a thing called Bothy talk. So you can stay for that if you're one of my regular viewers. In the meantime, spread the love, share the love, enjoy life. Please subscribe, and I'll see you later. Well, here's the directions for you. I'd advise you to use Google Maps or something similar. Go up there using some kind of navigator as well, because I got lost up in those hills. So use the maps, but don't go in and come out on the same road. Don't go away off into the hills. You'll be hopelessly lost. Anyway, have a great time if you do go up there. Hi and welcome to Bothy Talk. I think this is how it's going to be from now on. Instead of the epilogue, I think we're going to have Bothy Talk, which is really for those who've subscribed and been following the channel, and especially for those who've become kind of long-term supporters of this whole escapade. So I'd like to thank all of you who've recently subscribed to the channel, and obviously those who continue to watch. Thanks again for all the messages, especially those concerning my health. As some of you might know or might remember, I was back in hospital again. But here I'm out and things are looking good. I've got plans for next year for a whole new season of videos, which I'll hopefully tell you about. And well, it's been an amazing year. The channel is doing exceptionally well. I'm really surprised. We're still not up to the kind of monetization zone, but we're getting there. And I should be able to start this YouTube membership thing soon, which will allow people to sign up as a member, and well, you'll get access to all sorts of stuff, including my own personal backstory, which I guess, saying so myself, is a bit unusual, a bit unlikely, and kind of miraculous. Getting back to the video you just watched, the White Caterthun up there in Angus. What a place. I've thought about it a lot. I went back up again. I was actually up that hill 3 times during the summer. One evening just to do the drone, an afternoon to do the filming, and I went up there with my son as an unexpected kind of treat. We were driving up that way, and off we went. So no wonder I ended up knackered. But anyway, getting back to the White Caterthun, and what really struck me was the similarity between the builders of the Caterthun, building over several decades, possibly 100 years, and the great cathedral builders who did the same. The people who designed the cathedrals never saw them. They could take 150 odd years to build. Whole generations would grow up in families who learned the trade as soon as they could do it. become useful in the family, and off they would go and they'd become tradesmen. In the case of the Iron Age, this would all happen long before the age of 35, the average age being about 35, 40, I expect. So you'd be a skilled craftsperson by the time you were 20. You'd probably be a grandfather long before you were 30. Wow, what an amazing thought. Anyway, so that's just my take on it. So I think that the White Caterthun was much more than a defensive place or anything like that. I think it had much more deeper significance to the land and possibly to the spirits. Yes, it's a citadel in the sky, but there's more to it, some common goal that got these people to build and to continue building and to support the whole massive job of building this place. Thanks for watching the channel. Lastly, before I go, I've added a new link to a thing called Buy Me a Coffee, which would allow you, in the meantime, before the membership starts and all that, would allow you to drop me a couple of bucks, a couple of quid, whatever, towards the plan for the summertime, which I shall reveal in the future. But in the meantime, take care, share the love, and I'll see you later.